You know, this corporatization of universities and of education, the corporatization of everything in society has been going on for a long time now, and it's really accelerated, I guess, in the past 10, 15 years. And I don't know how much of a revolving door there is between university administrations and corporations, and you know, if they're sort of going in and out, but it does seem like there's this tendency towards running a university as a business rather than as the center of learning. And I definitely experienced that while I was here, the way that the senior administration would communicate or not communicate about their relationships with corporations, especially in regards to food, but in regards to all kinds of things. With the Pepsi contract, you know, we thought we had open lines of communication with the services department for the whole summer of 2010. Laura was, you know, explaining what her research was, passing them information. They said, oh yeah, we're going to tell you before we sign any contract, we'll do a public consultation, we'll get students' input. And then through leaked information, we found out that they were going to sign the contract that day. Another, I don't know what it was, maybe it was just 3 years, but it's still like, and there's a lot of, you know, there tends to be kickbacks from corporations for exclusive contracts on campus. So like, you know, they'll give 50,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 or whatever it might be to be the only, to be a monopoly on campus, to be the only place where you can get a drink is a Pepsi or a bottled water or, you know, a Tropicana or whatever it is, right? So it really disheartened me at the time, just seeing this sort of duplicity and this lying, and it just, you know, it was upsetting because it was like, this isn't your toy, it's not your playground. Like, this is a center for higher learning. Universities are supposed to be the beacon of hope, I think, in many ways, for society, where there's critical thinking going on, there's innovation, there's people that are concerned with dealing with the oppression, dealing with the problems that we have in society. Like even this, you know, this big display on the windows of the Hall building about the right to education in the UN Declaration of Human Rights or whatever it is. It's just, is it just surface? Is it just greenwashing? I mean, that's how it really started to come across. And it's unfortunate because, like, young people come with ideals. You know, they start to learn about the problems in the world, and they're you know, not everyone, but there's some that want to take action and change the system. And, you know, changing the university's food system is one very tangible way to change to make a bigger impact in the world. And I wish that the university administrations would embrace that and would, you know, recognize their role as a leader in society and stop just, you know, bending over for corporations. And I think that it seems like it's changing now. Like, I do see more leadership happening. I think at Concordia right now, the current president seems to be more open to dialogue, more respectful of student desires and plans and proposals. But I know that there's also, like, these are senior executives that are earning, you know, six-figure salaries, and you end up in a circle. You go to the same sports club with that senior executive from Nestle, and he's like, hey, we want the contract at Concordia. And, you know, these relationships, these informal, familiar relationships develop, and then they bleed over into the workplace. And that's why we have the amount of corruption that we have in Montreal and in society in general, is because everyone's just patting each other's backs. And there's this sort of abdication of responsibility for global social and environmental problems. And even just the lack of, like, contracts, that unions don't have contracts. So many unions have been struggling to get a contract with the university for years now. You know, it just shows this sort of profiteering motive that, you know, they want prestige, and they want to have fancy buildings. but do they really care about what people are eating? And do they really care about the impact of their actions on the world that they're part of? Or is it just lip service? I don't know, I think it is, I think the trend is towards integrity and sustainability. But it's disappointing to see the lack of enthusiasm exhibited by the administration when they're doing building contracts or when they're doing food contracts or whatever it might be. You know, it's just disappointing. Yeah, but I think it's getting better.